Intercourse is totally defined by male responses. Men have much more confidence over sexual matters than women because sex revolves around male responses. A man's arousal motivates him to initiate sexual activity. His desire for penetration ensures that he wants to obtain sexual opportunities with a partner. His erection makes penetrative sex possible. But his orgasm ends his interest in engaging in further activity. A man generally experiences a reliable arousal cycle from erection to ejaculation. A woman does not. Female arousal, the kind that leads to orgasm, has to be consciously generated. Equally, her orgasm is not guaranteed at any stage. Relative to men, women are much more restricted in how they obtain the kind of stimulation that leads to orgasm. Women achieve orgasm by pressing fingers down into the internal clitoral organ. When we say that a couple slept together, we mean that they had intercourse. The natural assumption is that if a man and a woman share a bed, it is very likely that they had intercourse. This is because men are easily aroused just from the thought of a woman, possibly semi-naked, lying in close proximity to them. There is absolutely nothing a woman can do to make intercourse happen. Intercourse relies on a man having an erection. The amount of stimulation, length of time, a person needs to orgasm depends on a person's mental state of arousal. A man cannot predict the timing of his orgasm any more than a woman can. Intercourse could never provide both partners with an orgasm because the stimulation of intercourse only lasts while a man has an erection. Even if a woman could respond to intercourse as men hope, she cannot orgasm at the same time as her lover. Women never reach a point where they can no longer engage in intercourse. An orifice can always be penetrated, so it cannot be a sex organ. Before we attempt orgasm, we need to appreciate how to achieve arousal. For a man, this usually occurs fairly spontaneously. A man's arousal causes the penis to become erect and makes penetration possible. A man's sex organ penetrates an orifice of another person's body and is stimulated by thrusting into it. Women are stimulated through intercourse in a very different way to how men are stimulated. The person who is penetrated need not be aroused. Men assume they will always be the penetrator and so obtain the penile stimulation they need for orgasm. Most heterosexual men strongly object to being the receiver of anal intercourse themselves. The traditional justification for marriage was to allow a man and women to raise children together. Yet most men want sex much more frequently than is needed for reproduction. Women are shamed for being sexually unwilling and so causing men to look elsewhere. Yet some men are much more sexually demanding than others. A woman's sexual reluctance depends on the state of the relationship, her own ability to enjoy eroticism and her partner's sensitivity to recognizing her lower interest in sex. The function of sexual activity with a lover is clearly penetration and reproduction. But only the male is capable of penetration. Although intercourse is justified as an act within marriage that leads to family, frequencies are not defined in terms of reproductive necessity. Intercourse frequencies are determined by a man's sex drive. Ejaculating into a vagina has a special emotional significance for men. Intercourse completes a man's arousal cycle and gives him a sense of satisfaction and emotional well-being. Intercourse provides the psychological arousal and the physical stimulation that a man needs for orgasm. Men's speed to orgasm depends on the familiarity of the situation and behavior of their partner, including any turn-ons they may provide. Once aroused, any difficulties a man may have reaching orgasm are typically due to a lack of enthusiasm from a female lover or because he lacks confidence with a stranger, e.g. with a prostitute. We can differentiate between a person's physical capability to participate in sexual activity and their emotional amenability. A man's physical capability to engage in intercourse depends on his ability to obtain an erection. This occurs as a result of his mental response to erotic phenomena such as sexual opportunities or nudity of an attractive partner. Even if a man reaches orgasm by other means, such as oral sex or masturbation, an erection is still required. This is because mental arousal must always precede orgasm. When a man wants to ingratiate himself with a woman, he buys her flowers. He may even buy her a sexy nightdress as a hint that he would like to see her wearing it. He does not display himself in provocative underwear as an erotic turn-on. If a woman buys sexy underwear for a man, it is a hint that he should improve his clothing style, not a hint that she wants to play with what's inside the underwear. Yet a man assumes that a woman has sex because she is aroused to the point of orgasm. A woman has sex ideally because she loves a man, but also because she knows it's expected.